Welcome back, and thank you so much for clicking on this video to watch. This video is the first part of the trip that I am currently on and taking right now for about the first 3 weeks of my trip, mid-July to the first week of August. So I left Washington State, I headed down through Oregon, and then I drove and stayed in around Lake Tahoe for a few days, so both California and Nevada, so I was in that area for a while. I drove down through Vegas, and then I stayed in the Phoenix area in Mesa. I definitely want to go back and do a lot more exploring in that area. This whole trip for me was totally turned around, not the way I was planning to do it at all, and I actually had to cut it short a lot. This video is taking me so long to put together, and I am so sorry. I know I have no reason to be sorry because I've just been traveling and having a great time and doing work during the day for the most part, and I've been trying to figure out my next step with school. Degrees outside currently, and I am headed up today, and then later, hopefully, my plan at the end of the day is to get through Flagstaff and stay in Moab somewhere. Once I get to Flagstaff, I also need to pick up a few fresh vegetables, but nothing too expensive, not a whole lot of groceries. I just did a bunch of meal prep at my friend's house yesterday, so that was very nice of her to let me do that. Thank you. So I've got pretty much all that I need for this next week or so. It's gonna be about another week before I'm in another house, not just in the car or a campsite. So I'm super excited about this next leg of the journey. I'm a little scared, but that's okay. I think it's just gonna be great. I'm super excited, and we're gonna go up through Flagstaff, find a place to sit and have lunch while I have a meeting with my therapist through telehealth. And then I will most likely find some places. I have some places written down in my road trip planning notebook that I have. I know that tomorrow I'm going to be getting up early, and I'm going to be staying in Grand Junction just for a few nights, and then headed to Salt Lake City after that. So I want to sort of hit this lower portion of Colorado and Utah, and then this sort of upper portion of Arizona, because temperature's actually not that bad. It's 92 right now, so it's actually pretty cold. 20 degrees colder than it has been. Anyways, that is my update for you guys, and I'm just so excited and also nervous for this next part of the trip. But this is the part that I've been planning for, and I just gotta remind myself that it's okay that I don't do it all, because this is just like the sort of introduction introductory road trip. Ooh, I must show you guys. And apologize for the dirty windshields, but I am going through currently this giant rock and piece of the mountain. My camera quality is not as good as I would like it to be, but just imagine, the video does not do it justice. It's 9:30 now, and I've been listening to this podcast, the Cut Off Gene podcast. I don't know if any of you have heard of that one before. It's one of my new favorites, and I've downloaded a bunch of the episodes so that I can listen to them when I am driving. They were talking about racism, and she was explaining how people from similar class backgrounds, similar education backgrounds, being racist. And it's interesting that the education doesn't change that. And the guy on the podcast also said, it's interesting how there's so many like high status, high income, educated people, and how they still don't understand. And I think that's absolutely true. We think if you're educated, then you're not racist. Or, if you are a celebrity or something, you're not racist. We just have that like perception of people because we think that they are perfect and they are not. And I think that's just really interesting because our education system isn't teaching us any of that. So I think it's interesting that they mention that more education doesn't necessarily help with unlearning those implicit biases in you and understanding your own privilege to the point where you can see the racism and where you can not only see it but then also can actively try to undo it, unlearn it, and fight against it, because that's a whole other process. The education system just is not there for everybody and doesn't teach us a lot about how we can do that and how we can become better as a society as we're doing that. But I also was looking at this website last night. This also reminded me. And this website last night was the Abolitionist Teaching Network, the ATN. And they, excuse me, and they have they have a whole plan basically. So like almost a whole curriculum online. They've got a bunch of, they've got a podcast on Spotify. I listened to it and it is phenomenal. It was one of the best things I've ever listened to. It's just the most amazing conversation, amazing points, bringing up people like Angela Davis and just incredible, incredible people, incredible work that they're doing. And I just think that it's fantastic that there are curriculums starting to be developed like this and people starting to realize, I guess now with COVID also and this whole sort of exposure of our education system, I think it's good that people are starting to realize that, and I hope that people can understand that just education is really a lot to a lot of people and that it should be more equally accessible. I just thought those two podcasts were really fantastic. I think I can link those down below. I can totally do that. But yeah, those are just fantastic, and that's just what I've been thinking about on this drive. Just going through Just Canyon, and it's beautiful, and I'm having a great time. I would like to take the time to acknowledge the existence, beauty, and resiliency that this land embodies. This is the traditional territory of the Southern Paiute, Pueblo, and Ute people. These communities have been protecting and preserving this landscape since time immemorial and will continue to do so. stay tuned. Don't forget to subscribe down below, and definitely check out my website and my Instagram page. Definitely follow me on there. I post a lot of